Hello, everyone, and welcome to Roundtable. I am Vinny Close, Assistant Council Commissioner for Roundtable Program and Support for Great Trail Council, and we are happy that you have joined us tonight. We've got a lot of information, so let's start like we always do, with a new video this time, with the Pledge of Allegiance and the Scout Oath, presented this month by Tiger and Bear Scouts from Medina.
Scout salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Scouts, Scout sign, and the Scout Oath.
On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
All right, awesome job. Thank you, guys. Now, we want Scouts from your unit to lead us in the Pledge, Oath, and Scout Law. If you're interested, let us know in the chat, and we'll contact you after the broadcast to make arrangements, just like PAC 3506 did with us. We want to welcome those of you that have joined us online. We're happy that you've joined us. Now, to help us track attendance, share your unit number and city in the live chat. And if you have any questions during the broadcast, let us know, and we'll get them answered either in the chat or I'll answer them live on air. Our council commissioner is standing by ready to help. Now, if you have questions about something that you've seen during Roundtable, whether it's this episode or a previous one, or you just have a scouting question and you don't know who to ask, let us know. We have a very simple form that we created. It goes directly to me to get your question or problem answered. If I can't answer it, I'll make sure I get it into the hands of somebody that can. You can see the address to get to that form below right there, and we may even use your question in a future episode. Now, we also have a special announcement about our Roundtable live broadcasts. They are now available in podcast form. You can look for all of our episodes, including this one, all 22 of them, wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. We're on all the major platforms: Apple, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube Music, and more. Just search for Great Trail Council. All right, first up tonight is our safety moment, and for this month, it's about
whether it's
annual
Cub
health
Scout
and
Day
medical
Camp
record.
and
Let's
Derby
listen.
Days, or Boy Scouting and venturing camping trips, and high adventure excursions, having fun is very important to everyone in Scouting, and so is their safety and well-being. Completing the annual health and medical record is the first step in making sure you have a great Scouting experience. The BSA Annual Health and Medical Record, often known as the medical form or the annual physical, is designed to help ensure that all participants in the Scouting program are healthy enough for the adventure of Scouting. It is not intended to limit participation, but to inform and protect. One thing parents and leaders normally want to know is why the BSA requires a release and a health history of all participants in Scouting events. There are actually three key reasons. First, completing a health history promotes health awareness and provides critical information needed to treat someone in the event of an illness or injury. It also provides consent for treatment in the event a participant needs emergency care while traveling away from a parent or guardian. Second, poor health and lack of awareness of risk factors have led to disabling injuries, illnesses, and even fatalities. And third, the annual health and medical record also serves as the tool that enables councils to operate day and resident camps and adhere to BSA and state requirements. Parts A and B should be completed for all participants and Scouting leaders. Part C should be completed by a licensed healthcare provider before the participant attends any Scouting event that is longer than 72 hours, such as a summer camp, trek, or multi-day excursion. The optional High Adventure Risk Advisory, formerly known as Part D, needs to be shared with the examining medical provider during the pre-participation examination to explain known health risks for each of BSA's activities for high adventure bases. Additionally, your council may develop a risk advisory specific to your council camp or other properties or events. To assure privacy, the form should be maintained by a designated leader, carefully stored and used only as needed to provide for planning and rendering care. Medical forms should not be scanned, stored, or sent electronically except as specifically directed for a BSA national event such as the National Jamboree. To keep up with possible changes in health status, the form needs to be updated annually or when a participant's health information changes. Find more tips and resources on AHMRs and other safety moments on the Scouting Safely website at scouting.org.
All right, in addition to that safety video, we want to remind you, with Memorial Day coming right around the corner, we also want to make sure that you're safe when participating in parades. Check out our roundtable episode from May of 2025 for the safety moment that we did on parade safety. Up next now is our membership moment, and it is all about Memorial Day activities. Memorial Day, as I just said, is just a couple of weeks away. Every scouting unit should be involved in commemorating our fallen service members. Some of the options include participating in activities sponsored by the local American Legion or VFW. You can act as color guard in a school or city Memorial Day ceremony, decorating veterans' graves with flags. Nearly every cemetery in the area, in the country really, is going to be doing some sort of service to put U.S. flags on every grave for a veteran. My units, we go every year to the National Cemetery down in Rittman, the Ohio Western Reserve National Cemetery. That's on the Saturday before Memorial Day. If you've never done it before, you owe it to yourself to do it at least once. It's pretty impressive. We get about 1,000 scouts and scouters to come, and we do 50,000 graves in under an hour. It's a very impressive system that they have set up there for doing that. So that's one place to do it. Or you can look to your cemeteries in your local community as well. You can also march in a community Memorial Day parade. Remember, check out our safety video from May of 2025 to talk about parade safety, because that's very important. These kinds of activities show our community how active we are and how we are building character in our young scouts. We can't let people know that we exist if we just stay in our meeting rooms all the time. We need to make sure we're out in the community. And remember, if you do something like this, write up a press release, take a few pictures, and send them to your local newspaper or other online news service. Lots of people don't realize that we are here. Let's show them that we are. All right. In the coming months, we're going to be focusing our membership moments on retention, as we need to ensure that we are doing what we can to keep the scouts that we recruited. Trained leaders and a quality program go a long way to ensuring that scouts stay in the program. We have to keep delivering on the promise we gave them in that recruiting presentation. Now, we have a new program that we want to share with you at the top of our broadcast before we get into everything else. It is a new program that will be fully introduced next week at the National Annual Meeting in Dallas. It is a 4-month program planner that provides a roadmap for leaders who want to guide their scouts through badge of rank requirements in 4 months. By following the planner, a scout can complete all 6 required electives and 2 elective adventures, therefore freeing the rest of the year for additional electives, activities, and fun without the pressure of advancement deadlines. This video provides a brief introduction to that planner. Let's take a look.
Welcome to the 4-month planning guide, a practical roadmap designed to help pack leaders guide their Cub Scouts through the requirements for their badge of rank in just 4 months.
This guide was created for leaders who want a clear, structured path to advancement, while still delivering a fun, meaningful Cub Scouting experience. If followed as written, a dedicated Cub Scout will complete all 6 required adventures plus 2 elective adventures within this time frame. That means the rest of the year can be spent exploring additional electives, building skills, and simply enjoying scouting, without the pressure of catching up on advancement.
It's important to remember, this planner is a guide, not a rulebook. You do not need to follow it exactly as written. Every pack has its own traditions, culture, and rhythm, and this program is designed to flex to fit yours. This plan can also be adjusted for weather and other local considerations. Whether you are an experienced leader looking for a structured roadmap or a new leader just getting started, this guide provides a solid foundation you can adapt with confidence.
At the start of each month, the guide includes a parents' meeting. These meetings are an opportunity to engage families in the program, share the plan for the month ahead, and divide responsibilities so that leadership is shared and sustainable. In the first month, you'll also find a joint introduction meeting for Cub Scouts and their families, a time to welcome new members, strengthen connections, and build the sense of community that makes a pack thrive. From there, the guide lays out a clear week-by-week plan covering required and elective adventures, a service project called Scouting for Food, and a campout for Arrow of Light Scouts. For one elective adventure, we suggest the Rain Gutter Regatta, though your pack may choose to substitute the Pinewood Derby instead. The second elective adventure is entirely up to you, allowing room for local traditions and interests. To make implementation even easier, this guide is supported by a deck of cards that walks you step by step through the entire 4-month plan. The deck includes ready-to-use skits, ceremonies, presentations, and leader minutes, helping you deliver engaging meetings with minimal preparation while maintaining a consistent, high-quality experience for your Cub Scouts and families. This deck will be available for purchase at Scout stores or online at scoutshop.org in June 2026. Our hope is that this guide makes it easier for you to deliver a high-quality program that is organized, engaging, and most importantly, fun for your Cub Scouts, fun for your families, and fun for you. Thank you for everything you do to make scouting possible. Let's get started.
All right. Now, as it said in the video, it's important to note that this is an optional program. You don't have to implement it if you don't want to, but we know we've seen it over the past year or so. Den leaders are looking for program help. So we're going to talk about some more a little later on in our broadcast tonight, but we've heard from den leaders, they're looking for that help, and this is a great way for them to get that help on den meeting planning and all of that good stuff. You also don't have to do the exact things in the same order that they are. It is customizable for your den's needs. Now, the planner will be available as a 2-page guide and card deck with instructions and QR codes linking to resources for each activity. And as I mentioned earlier, this is all going to be showcased next week during the national annual meeting. So look for announcements starting late next week to talk about this new 4-month program that they're coming out with. All right, time now for our Duty to God moment. And this month, we're going to cover the Scouts Read Sacred Text program, which is taking place tonight. We got the slide up on screen. This is being done in conjunction with the National Day of Prayer, which is why they've selected today, Thursday, the May 7th. Although you can really do it anytime this week or anytime this month. You don't have to do this on tonight. All youth-serving organizations, whether it's scouting or not, and faith-based youth groups worldwide have been encouraged to participate. And the way that it works is youth, their families, and faith leaders are going to decide on specific texts that they're going to read. It's suggested that youth do 15 minutes, but it's really up to you. Younger scouts may only be able to do 5 minutes. Older scouts may want to take longer. In 2025, as you can see on screen, there were over 5,600 youth that participated reading sacred texts for over 2,300 hours. As of this past Monday, there were nearly 11,000 who had already signed up to participate in this. You still have a chance to go and sign up. Go and do that. Currently, Great Trail Council is in 15th place nationwide when it comes to councils and who is signed up. We can do better. We can go beat we're losing to Cleveland Council. Come on, we can do better than that. Make sure to go on their website and sign up. You can see it on screen there. It's a very long address, scoutsreadsacredtextworldwide.org. And of course, because it's a scouting event, there's patches and stickers that are available to commemorate the event. All right, time now for our first of 2 hot topics for tonight, and it is about preparing for summertime activities. We know, because we have the data to back it up, packs who stay active in some form over the summer tend to be more successful and have better recruiting and retention numbers than packs that don't. Here to present this month's video, it's our old friend. He's now the outgoing National Director of Cub Scouting, Anthony Berger. We have a new director, Kate Benson, who just started last month. So Kate, you're going to need to get going and making some videos so that we can start calling you our old friend. But let's take a look at what Anthony has to say about this program.
One of my favorite cartoons that we would watch as a family was Phineas and Ferb. The premise of the show was two brothers who have these amazing adventures during their summer break. Each day to start the story, Phineas would turn to Ferb and say, "I know what we're going to do today." What would follow is the construction of some fantastic device, an amazing adventure that somehow also stopped an evil doctor's scheme with their help of their secret agent pet platypus. By the end of the show, the construction would get destroyed just before their sister could get them in trouble. All this before dinner. So, in the spirit of Phineas and Ferb, a cartoon based on summer vacation, what are you going to do this summer? That is our topic for this month's Roundtable, summertime activities. Welcome to Roundtable. If this was an episode of Phineas and Ferb, during the summer, we may paint a continent, discover something that doesn't exist, or give a monkey a shower. But unfortunately, we can't really do those things. We know that most Cub Scout packs slow down during the summer. Some even stop meeting completely. This brings us to the first challenge of summertime for Cub Scouting. How often should you meet? Should we meet at all? And what activities would you do? The first thing to keep in mind when planning summer activities is that your Cub Scouts just completed their rank and are now officially the next rank. The issue is that if they start working on their required adventures during the summer, when the fall comes and new Cub Scouts join, those new Cub Scouts will be, behind, making planning den meetings difficult. Doing just one summer activity really helps families connect. A simple summertime pack schedule helps recharge your pack leadership, increases parent involvement, increases the number of families that join, and keep more families in your pack. Our first tip for summertime activities is to forget about working on requirements and advancement. Avoid required adventures and look to do activities that focus on building your pack community. As Cub Master, our pack would have 3 activities during the summer. It wasn't always one activity a month, but we tried to spread it out. One of these summer activities was our big annual trip. Planning for the annual trip started during the spring. Our local council had a fundraiser in the spring which was selling discount cards. Before we started selling, at a parent meeting, we would identify where we wanted to go for the big annual trip. Now, what kind of trip are we talking about? Well, for us, it was simply just a day trip. So consider what kind of local attractions do you have within 2 or 3 hour drive. You may have a zoo, an aquarium, a national park or monument. You may even have a theme park. Remember, most places you consider will have group discounts, and some even have special scout discounts and or programs. Once the location was decided, someone did the research on the costs. Now, when calculating cost, we would figure how much a youth ticket and one adult ticket would be. We then calculated how many discount cards a Cub Scout would need to sell for the commission to pay for one youth and one adult ticket. This became everyone's goal. If someone didn't make the goal, they could still attend the trip, they just had to pay the difference. We also extended any group discounts to other members of the family, so this truly became a family experience. Now, the annual pack trip became the highlight of our program year, and families enjoyed being able to do it as a family. As part of our discount card sales, our Cub Scouts could also earn their way to day camp or resident camp. This was part of the local council recognition plan. So many of our Cub Scouts earned not only a cool summer trip with the pack, they also earned a week of Cub Scout day camp. Now, this leads me to one of the most obvious summertime activities, and that is Cub Scout day camp. Day camp is traditionally an event that runs during the day. It could be a day-long camp or cover 4 or 5 days. Some areas have twilight camps that, instead of running in the morning to early afternoon, they run from the early afternoon to early evening. Someone at Roundtable will have information about your local day camp opportunities, or contact your local council office or district executive. Another summertime activity your pack should plan is your annual program planning conference. Now, we already covered this subject in a previous Roundtable, and as a reminder, there's also the online training module on Annual Program Planning Conference, found at my.scouting.org. What I want to emphasize about the Annual Program Planning Conference is that this too could become a fun PAC activity. Holding it at a park, having a cookout, or even hiring some entertainment can turn your program planning conference into an annual program planning party. One last example of a summertime PAC activity is called Back to the Pack. This is a great way to kickstart the new program year. The purpose of this event is to bring everyone back from the summer just before school starts and before any new families join. A Back to the Pack event can be as informal or formal as you like. It can be a formal PAC meeting or it can be a fun day at the park. The key step is to contact each family in the PAC and invite them to the event. For many families, this simple phone call and invitation is all they need to keep them involved. During the event, you, along with other leaders of the PAC, can start looking at which parents who are in the PAC have the right skill sets to serve as leaders. Remember that returning parents are now much more likely to agree to serve in a leadership position if asked. This leads to a very strategic method that strong PACs do during the summer, and that is identifying PAC resources. During the summer, the Cub Master and PAC Committee Chair work together to discuss current PAC leadership and what vacancies the PAC may have for the upcoming year. These events provide a more casual opportunity to have conversations with parents and get to know them, and in doing so, you understand their skill sets and can ask them to serve in a position that hits on their strengths. A tip from the experts: people are more likely to say yes to people whom they have a relationship with. These summertime activities are one more opportunity for you to build stronger relationships with each family, and in doing so, you're increasing the chances of someone saying yes when you ask them for help or to serve in a leadership position. All right, now it's your turn. For the remainder of the time, use these questions to spark a conversation about summertime activities. What summer activities does your PAC do? Which ones are your favorite and why? Do you recruit leaders during the summer? If so, how do you do it? Where are some local attractions that make a great day trip for a PAC? All right, look forward to those discussions, and I look forward to seeing you next time.
You might have heard that this year our country will celebrate its 250th year of independence. And Scouting America is all in on the celebration. With the new Impact 365 National Service Initiative and a National Day of Service that's going to be coming up on November 14th, there will be lots of service opportunities for Scouts throughout the year. That brings us to the Celebration Challenge being presented to Scouts nationwide. As America celebrates 250 years, you're invited to dive into the adventure of a lifetime. From uncovering the meaning of freedom to designing cool patches, from building time capsules to stepping up in service, this challenge is all about learning, leading, and having fun while making history. Parents and leaders, you're part of the journey too. Together, let's spark curiosity, build character, and celebrate the spirit of liberty that shapes us all. A special Liberty in Action 250th Anniversary Challenge Award is now available for Scouts and Scouters in all program levels to earn. Scouting America invites you to explore ideas about citizenship and community, take on creative challenges, and visit historic places. Team up with friends and family to complete the challenges, to learn about and celebrate the spirit of our country. Once completed, you can wear the Challenge Award patch that you can now see in the lower left of your screen that is now available in Scout shops nationwide. Details on the program and awards are now available in the show notes for this broadcast on our Roundtable website at gtcscouting.org/roundtable. Time now for our second hot topic, and it is on the topic of recruitment events. It might just be the start of summer next month, but before you know it, we will be all in on recruiting nights, school visits, and open houses. Does your PAC have a plan yet? This video will help you with getting your pack ready with tips, tricks, and resources for putting on great recruiting events. Anthony Berger is back with this video presentation.
I once was visiting a local council office and I came across an extensive library of old Cub Scout training materials from the 1950s. I asked if I could take some back with me to review, and one brochure was really interesting. It was about membership and how to effectively recruit families to join Cub Scouting. The method was a reflection of the time, as it was calling for hand-delivered letters inviting the family to join a pack on a special night. Welcome to Roundtable as we discuss recruitment events. There are several ways to recruit new families into Cub Scouting. In this roundtable, we're going to cover recruitment events that take a coordinated effort between your pack and your local council. Now, every council has a team of volunteers and staff who work for months developing a plan to recruit more Cub Scouts. We're going to share with you the common elements these recruitment plans usually have and things you can do to prepare. We will not be covering getting people to these events or the advertising needed to get people there. To learn more about techniques to advertising your recruitment event, work with your local council and check out their recruitment page on scouting.org. You can get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. The first step of any recruitment plan is to confirm a date, time, and location. This step is something that your council may be doing already based on the relationship with the school district or other community partners. What you can do is to reach out to your local council, preferably through your district executive, and ask what the plan is for your pack. There may be a kickoff meeting where this information is discussed with the Cub Scout packs in your area. If a parent or a group of parents have a good relationship with the school or schools that members of your pack attend, make sure to let your district executive know that and that you'd be willing to help. What you want to avoid is any duplication of effort. You and your district executive need to coordinate contacting any school to avoid miscommunication, which could lead to a failed campaign. Once the date, time, and location are confirmed, it is important to know the membership plan and expectations of your council's membership plan. This will help you understand that what you can do to make the event a success. Now, it bears repeating, knowing your council's membership plan is key before you start. Regardless of the details of your council's membership plan for a formal recruitment event, there are things you can do to prepare. Make sure your pack has things ready to welcome and get new families involved. The two things that have the greatest impact on this are having a pack program calendar and a parent meeting within 10 days of your formal recruitment event. To learn more about developing an annual program calendar, make sure to take the online training module at my.scouting. It's titled Annual Program Planning for Cub Scouting. This 18-minute course is part of the PAC Committee Chair Training and is available for anyone to take. There's also a roundtable video titled Annual Planning Conference that will give you the answer to the question, what makes a great Cub Scout pack? You can view this video by scanning the QR code on the screen. Having a calendar of events and activities in addition to standard meeting dates and times will let new families work Cub Scouting into their current schedule. Formal recruitment events often have a lot going on, and with so much, this is usually not the time to get into the details of your pack operations. This is best done at a parents' meeting that is done within 10 days after your formal recruitment event. What this parents' meeting looks like has a lot to do with the culture of your pack and what type of pack community you have or are trying to build. To learn more about getting parents involved, there's an online training module titled Involving Adults in Cub Scouting. Now, this 9-minute module is part of each of the position-specific training tracks found on my.scouting. For additional support, check out the roundtable videos titled Getting Parents Involved, Everyone Volunteers, and Parent to Leader. You can find these videos along with all the other Cub Scout Roundtable videos by scanning the QR code that's on the screen. Now, here are additional resources that you may find useful. Welcome New Cub Scout Family Brochure. welcome new leader brochures. We also have resources on the PAC committee page, and you can get them by scanning the QR code on the screen. We just covered 2 operational items to support your PAC's formal recruitment event. However, there's one thing that is the most important item, and it isn't found on a calendar, a website, or even a video. Preparing yourself and the others in your PAC to be friendly and welcoming is the #1 factor in a successful recruitment event. Think of these 2 situations. One is where the PAC has checked all the boxes and the PAC has a calendar, it has a parent meeting scheduled, and all the support materials needed. But when a new family member walks in, they're not greeted. They're told to be quiet, to sit down. They see other adults and kids glued to their phones. And the other situation is where you may only have a calendar for the next 2 months, not the whole year. You didn't print it, but it's on your PAC website. You don't have a stack of papers with all the details of your PAC, but when a new family walks in, they're greeted at the door with a sincere welcome and are instantly engaged in a conversation about who they are and are told how much fun you and your child have in the program. They are told how you are looking forward to getting to know them, and they see adults who are engaged in conversations with each other. People enjoy being with each other. In our first example, the PAC may have done everything by the book, but those things are strategic. It is your PAC's culture that will drive real success. There is a book by Kurt Kaufman and Kathy Sorensen titled Culture Eats Strategy for Breakfast. It is true in business. It's also true for your PAC. All right, now it's your turn. Consider these questions to discuss with your fellow leaders. What is your council's membership plan for formal recruitment events this year? What are some of the strategic things your PAC does for formal recruitment events? What kind of culture does your PAC have? How much effort do you and your fellow leaders spend on trying to build a PAC community versus completing a to-do list? All right, that's it for this roundtable. I hope you found it useful. We'll see you next time.
All right, thank you, Anthony. Quick shout out to a couple of our PACs that said hello to us in the chat. Hello to PAC 25 in Canfield out in the Stambah District, as well as PAC 3513 in Brunswick in the Soaring Eagle District. Let's now take a look at our upcoming events. A lot of these are way in the future, so a lot of these are save the date events to make sure that they get onto your PAC calendars. First up is Cub Scout Range and Target Activities events. These have already started. They are running weekends now through October 11th. Not every weekend, a couple weekends per month, but now through October 11th. And you can check the calendar. They're going to be at Camps Manitowoc, Butler, and Stambah. I was just range master a couple of weeks ago for a Cub Range and Target Activity event. The kids had a great time. If you've never done it before as a PAC or a den, you owe it to yourself. Go out and do it. The kids just had a ball. Even though it was miserable and it was raining and everybody was soaking wet, they didn't care. They had a great time out there. Now, this is for free. It's an adventure program. You can sign up online for that. Up next, this is a fun event at Swings and Things out in Olmsted Township. They are going to be having a scouting night, June 6th and 7th. It is $26.99 per person to do this. It's not part of the adventure fee. But what you get to do is you get to camp out overnight at Swings and Things. And you can also, for that $26.99 per person, you're going to get unlimited mini golf, unlimited bumper boats, batting cages, and go-karts, as well as 90 minutes of free video game play in their arcade. And of course, while you're at Swings and Things, you got to make sure to get their ice cream. It's awesome. So that is at Swings and Things coming up on June 6th and 7th. I don't have the link to it in here, but if you go to our show notes, we're going to have the link there because it is super long and it probably wouldn't even fit on our screen because it's one of these super long addresses. But we will have it in the show notes. If you're in Canal District, you're going to be part of the Rain Gutter Regatta that's going to be going on August 8th from 9 a.m. to noon. The location is still yet to be determined. They're working on where that's going to be held. But again, save the date. It's going to be August 8th from 9 to noon. and that's for Canal District Cub Scouts and leaders. Cub Adventure Day, Cub Fest 2026. It's coming up on October 3rd. It's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's going to be held simultaneously at Camps Manitowoc and Stambaugh. This is free for Cub Scouts and families. And if you've got somebody that is interested in maybe joining Cub Scouts, they can come out for $5, basically to cover the insurance costs on that. Details will be coming up in the next few weeks and months, but this is a great thing. If you're recruiting Cub Scouts and you want them to see, well, what is it that you do? You can tell them, well, come and join, and then in a couple of weeks you can come to Cub Fest. It's a great time to send all of your scouts as well as prospective scouts out to. Later in October, the 2026 Fall Festival and Haunted Hayrides, it's back. It's back to what it used to be. The Haunted Hayrides are back. They are over at Camp Butler. They're going to be held on 2 weekends, October 17th and 24th, and there are 2 sessions on each of those days to choose from. You can either do noon to 3:30 or 6 to 9:30. It is $15 per person in advance and $18 per person at the gate. There's going to be all sorts of fall-themed games and crafts and activities going on, as well as the return of the Haunted Hayrides. Everyone who is in line by at least 1 hour before the end of the event will get a hayride. Now, the registration for this is going to open on June 1st. But again, we want to tell you, the hayrides, as you know them, are back. Finally, Soaring Eagle District is going to be having their Bigfoot Hike and Seek Challenge. This is going to be on October 17th from noon to 6 p.m. at Camp Manitowoc. It is open to the entire council, not just Soaring Eagle District. What you're going to do is you're going to take a hike of varying lengths. The length is going to vary depending on the program level that you're in. For Cub Scouts, it's going to be anywhere from a half mile to 3 miles. The Tigers and Lions are going to do a half-mile hike, very short. Arrow of Lights, you're going to do a 3-mile hike, and then the other ranks will be somewhere in between there. You're going to do the hike. You do it as a team. So you're going to do either a den or get a team together and do the hike that way. There's going to be some brief challenges along the way, but the important part is at the end of the event, there are prizes and food for everybody that participates. That is not part of the adventure fee. It's $10 per person, and you can go online to the address that you see on screen there, gtcscouting.org/calendar-events, to sign up and get more information on all of those activities. It's also time for Cub Day Camp and Overnight Camp. Registration is now open, so let's look at those dates. As you can see, Invention Convention is the theme for this year's day camp. There are 5 dates to choose from in June and July. They range in length from 2 days to 5 days. And there are both Camp Butler and Stambaugh. It is open to all Cub Scouts of all levels, Tiger through Arrow of Light. This is where you will be in, what program level you will be in the fall when you go back to school. Remember, Lion Scouts don't start in Cub Scouts until the first day of school, so that's why they are not part of it. But there may be a siblings program or the informal Dragon Scouts, as we like to call them, that they could participate in. Overnight camp. This is to get the experience of what it's going to be like when you go to Scouts BSA Summer Camp. There are 2 dates for that, June 17th to the 20th and July 30th to August 2nd. That is at Camp Manitowoc. This, again, is now open to all Cub Scouts. This is what used to be known as Webelos Adventure Camp or Webelos Overnight Camp. We've now opened it up to all program levels, Tiger through Arrow of Light. The difference between this and day camp is day camp, you can register for this individually. And this is a good thing to do if you maybe can't make it on the date that your pack has selected to go out. You can go out any date you want. But for overnight camp, you have to register and pay as a unit. So that's the difference there. There's already a couple of packs that have made their reservations, so don't wait until the last minute to sign up for those events. There is a leaders meeting coming up for overnight camp. It is June 6th at 1 p.m. That's a Saturday at the Manitowoc Dining Hall. So if your pack is going to be signed up for overnight camp, you want to make sure that you send at least one leader to this leaders meeting for overnight camp. And you can get to the registration, which is open now. It is at manitoc.org/summer. We just updated the website, and we've got all the correct and current information on there. So if you go to that page, you will find all of that as well. We also have some information now on some other Cub summer events happening this year, our Cub summer hikes and our pool parties. Let's start first off with the summertime hikes. This is free, part of the adventure program. It is going to be held on Wednesdays during Scouts BSA summer camp. So you get to go out there with the big kids and see what they do. You get to see summer camp in action. Age-appropriate hikes, just like we talked for the Bigfoot hike, there's going to be age-appropriate hikes there depending on what program level you are in. It is at Camp Manitoc. You can see the dates on screen there. There are 5 dates to choose from, all on Wednesdays, and it is from 7:30 to 9 p.m. What you're going to do is you're going to enter camp using the Manitoc Service Road, not the main gate that you normally come in, but if you drive a little further down Truxell Road, you're going to come in through the service entrance and you'll come out over by the dining hall and you park in the parking lot at the top of the hill between the dining hall and the training lodge. You're going to meet at the pavilion next to the trading post, which used to be known as the handicraft shelter. So if you're familiar with camp anyways, that is where you'll be meeting. All participants, youth and adults, you have to bring with you parts A and B of your medical form to participate in this. Please only sign up for 1 session only. Maybe that you'd like to go to more, but let's make sure that everybody has a chance to do this. And of course, the most important thing of all, make sure when you're done with your hike, head over to the trading post and get that slushie, one of the most popular things that we have out at Camp Manitoc. You can sign up for that. You can see the address there, scoutingevent.com/433-hike. All right, up next, we have our Cub Scout Pool Parties. This is also free as part of the adventure program. 5 dates to choose from, 3 at Camp Manitoc and 2 at Camp Stambaugh. These are all weekend events from 1 to 5 p.m. If you need to do a swim check, you can come out early between noon and 1 o'clock and you can do your swim check out there. Or if you've already participated in day camp or overnight camp, you can bring your buddy tag with you from that. That will count just the same. Just like the hikes, all participants have to bring parts A and B of the medical form with you. That is youth and adults. The shower houses and changing rooms will be open if you need to rinse off before you jump in, or after you're done, the shower houses and all the changing rooms will be available. And again, sign up for only 1 session only, please, to make sure that everybody has a chance to do this. These are pretty popular events, and we want to make sure that everyone has a chance to do this. And you can see the address online there to sign up for that event. Finally, we have one more summer activity to let you know about, and that is all of the fun Scout nights coming up this summer at the ballpark. The professional baseball teams in Northeast Ohio are hosting Scout Nights this summer with all sorts of cool activities for Scouts and their families of all ages and program levels, including the older Scouts. Scouts BSA, you can do this too, with some of them including an overnight camping experience. You can see there on screen which ones they are. First is your Cleveland Guardians, winners today against the Royals. There are 2 dates for that, May 31st and July 1st. There are discounted tickets available for both of those games. There is a pregame on-field parade for each of those games, and you can get a commemorative patch for participating. The Akron Rubber Ducks, the Guardians AA minor league club down here in Akron at the park formerly known as Canal Park. They are doing their Scout Night on July 10th, and you can contact them to get discounted group tickets. You contact the Rubber Ducks directly to get some discounts on group tickets. The Lake Erie Crushers, it's an independent league in the Frontier League out in Avon. They're doing 2 Scout Nights, June 19th and August 7th. Just like the Guardians, they're going to have a pregame on-field parade, fireworks after the game, and the coolest thing of all, as you can see in that picture there, you can camp out in the outfield overnight after the game. And as well with the Crushers, they're going to show a movie on the scoreboard after the game. And you can also get a commemorative patch. Now, there's 2 other teams in the area that most likely will be doing scouting nights. We just don't have any details on them yet. They have done them in the past, to think that they're not going to do it this year. That is the Mahoning Valley Scrappers out in Niles. That is over in the parking lot of Eastwood Mall, where they have their ballpark there. And then the Lake County Captains up in Eastlake. That's the Guardians Single A Ball Club over at Classic Park. They also do a scout night, or at least they have in the past. So when we get information on that, we will post it as well. Now, there's other teams, if you're willing to travel, there are other teams just a little further away that are also doing scout nights, and you can check directly with the teams on them. But we know for certain the Columbus Clippers are doing a scout night, the Toledo Mud Hens, as well as the Detroit Tigers up in Detroit. They're doing a scout night as well. So you can check out those teams' websites. If your family likes to do a little bit of traveling, you can head out to one of those ballparks as well. All right. In other news, the scouting planning calendars and resources have made a comeback. These popular resources can help packs and troops plan adventures and build a full calendar of activities. This was an activity that was very popular years ago, and it went away. They're now bringing it back. This is a way for your pack to get some help on a monthly basis for planning both pack and den meetings. Utilizing resources that will be published each month in Scout Life magazine, monthly themes are suggested for both packs and troops to use while planning meetings and outings. Scouts will read stories related to these themes in the magazine and on scoutlife.org, where these stories will also be available to non-subscribers. Now, we have links to these fillable PDF calendars on our Roundtable page right there at the bottom of the screen, gtcscouting.org/roundtable. All right, up next, we want to share with you the calendar of upcoming training to make sure that you have them on your unit calendars to save the date. First is Den Chief training. If you have any Scouts BSA members rather, that are Den Chiefs and have not yet taken Den Chief training, that is going to be offered every week during Scouts BSA summer camp at Camp Manitowoc. So if you know of any Scouts that either are Den Chiefs currently or they're thinking about being it, this is a great way to get that training taken care of while they're out at summer camp. Cub Scout Rangemaster training. Like I said, I just did Rangemaster for a shooting event a couple weeks ago. It was a lot of fun. I had more fun than I was expecting to. We're offering that again on May 30th from 9 to 5 p.m. We're offering it simultaneously at both Camps Manitowoc and Stambaugh, and it is free. The important thing to remember with this is we need range masters. So on one of those range and target activity days, there are 3 different stations that the Scouts go to: BBs, archery, and slingshots. We need 2 range masters for each station, so that means, of course, I remember my math, that means we need at least 6 range masters for each of these events. We always need more range masters to do that. Baloo training, Basic Adult Leader Outdoor Orientation, that's what that stands for. That is coming up on October 10th and 11th at Camp Stambaugh, and it is a free activity for Great Trail Council Scouters. The important thing to remember with Baloo training is every Cub campout, whether it's on council property or elsewhere, requires that there be at least 1 Baloo trained member present for the entire campout. It's always a good idea to have more than 1 Baloo trained person on hand, so that if somebody has to leave, if you only had that 1 person that was present and they had to leave for whatever reason, by rule, you have to cancel the campout at that point. We don't want that to happen. So always a good idea to have more than 1 person trained in Baloo. And again, this is a free event. And finally, University of Scouting is coming up on November 7th. Location still to be announced. We'll get you more details as that comes across. You can register online for any of those events at the address you see there on screen. All right. We also have a slide that we want to share with everyone regarding some updates to training requirements, in particular about SYT, Safeguarding Youth Training. So this is a new course that was introduced last year. It replaces youth protection training. It's required for all volunteers, and it's, of course, a joining requirement. When you turn in your application, you have to turn in your youth training certificate as well. Different change when it was the old YPT, the old Youth Protection Training. This must be taken every year. The first year that you take it, if you haven't done so already, it is a 90-minute training course plus a test that you take afterwards. You have to score 80% or higher on the test in order to complete the training. Every year after that, you're only going to need to take a 20-minute refresher course and pass the test. I've taken the refresher course. It truly is 20 minutes. You might be able to get it done in 18 minutes if you click next real quick as soon as the video ends, but it really only is about 20 minutes to complete. You do have to take the test afterwards, and you need to complete at least 80% on that test. The important thing to remember, though, if you don't get an 80% on the test before you can retake it, you have to retake the full 90-minute course. So very important to pay attention when you're taking these trainings so that you can get that 80%. Now, the question comes up, what if I previously took youth protection training, the old training as we're calling it? You're going to need to take the new SYT before May 27th of this year. Even if your old YPT expired after that date, everybody's was rolled forward to the end of May. In Great Trail Council, and this is why it's important that we're saying this, I know there's been some messages going around that your YPT expires on May 31st. Not for Great Trail Council. Great Trail Council, if you wait until the end of the month, the absolute end of the month to take the new training, you will already have had your registration terminated. You need to make sure that you have taken SYT, if you have not already done so, before May 27th. It's important too to remember, we have nearly 1,000 adults in Great Trail Council alone that have to take this new training before May 27th. Don't wait until the last minute. We all know that the servers at National aren't the greatest, and they can become bottlenecked at times. Because in addition to those 1,000 or so scouters in Great Trail that have to take it, there are over 100,000 scouters nationwide that also have to take the training before the end of this month. The servers are going to get overwhelmed. I work in IT, I know this. So please, if you haven't taken it, do it in the next couple of days. Don't wait until the last minute because we know everything is going to be mind-bogglingly slow. If you have questions on that, you can see more info at scouting.org/training/youth-protection. We also have a page on our website at gtcscouting.org/SYT where you can get information on that. Before I go on, I'm going to look over at our Council Commissioner, Sherry Buck. Did I cover everything on that before we move on? I believe you did. All right. We want to make sure, that's an important thing to cover, so we want to make sure that everybody is understanding. Please, if you have not taken SYT yet, that you need to do so before May 27th. Because if you wait until after that date, Great Trail Council is going to terminate your membership, and then you're going to have to fill out an application, pay your $65 all over again, and go through the whole process as if you were a brand new person. All right. There will be no Cub Scout Roundtable in July, as we're giving everybody the summer off to recharge for the new program year in the fall. The next activity will be district program kickoff events happening in August. Look for details on those in-person events that will be happening in each district in your weekly district email newsletters or in the Council's monthly Trail Tales newsletter. Our next Cub Scout Roundtable will be on Thursday, September 3rd, and our next Scouts BSA Roundtable will be next month on Thursday, June 4th, all right here, beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern on YouTube Live. And don't forget, as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, all of our episodes are now available as podcasts. Look for them wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank everyone who helped behind the scenes. I want to thank Steve Myers, as he always does, my executive producer that's working behind the scenes. I do want to send out a special thank you to our Council Commissioner, Sherry Buck. This is her last roundtable that she's doing for us as her term as Council Commissioner is coming to a close. But she's moving on to bigger and better things. Starting in June of 2027, Sherry is going to be Territory Commissioner for Council Service Territory number 9, which consists of Ohio, Indiana, and that state up north. Sherry, thank you for all that you've done in our program. I can't tell you how much we appreciate it. Thank you for dinner that you bring for us every month and manning our chat. Hopefully, John Judge, you're watching this and know that, guess what you get to do next month. But thank you as always, and we wish you the best in your future endeavors guiding our council service territory. All right, to close out tonight, we have a video that you can use in your den or even your pack meetings on closing out your meetings with the Living Circle. This is a ceremony that I remember doing when I was a Cub Scout, and it's one that I'm sure many of you former Cub Scouts probably remember as well. And we'll finish like we always do with a message for all of our adult volunteers, the true backbone of scouting, and share some words with you that we truly do not say enough. Thank you for all you do for scouting. We'll see you on the trail. Good night, everyone.
Ceremonies and traditions in your den meetings build a sense of team and a feeling of belonging to your Cub Scouts. The Living Circle is a tradition in Cub Scouting that is often used to close a meeting. To form a Living Circle, have everyone in the den form a circle. If you have adult partners and parents with you, they should be included too. Everyone should be facing slightly to the right. Everyone places their left hand into the circle with their thumb sticking out horizontally. Everyone joins hands by clasping the thumb of the person to the left and allowing the person to the right to clasp their thumb. Now have everyone form the Scout sign with their right hand. At this point, you can recite the Scout Oath, the Scout Law, the Outdoor Code, or any combination to close the meeting. You can also add to the closing by having everyone pump their left hand up and down and recite the Cub Scout motto, "Do your best." A formal closing like this Living Circle makes it clear that the meeting has ended and everyone is dismissed. It brings everyone together as a final reminder of their willingness to live by the Scout Oath and Scout Law.